everyone. It has been a while since I've sat down and did a chit chat, and since my makeup's already done, I'm not going to do a makeup chit chat. So I'm gonna have to find something to do with my hands because it feels a little awkward, but I figured that since I have some time, I would sit down and chat and update and all that stuff. And now that I'm sitting here, I realize how awkward I feel. It's been a while since I've been filming on a consistent basis because the camera that or normally, do you hear the choo-choo train? The camera that I normally film on isn't working, so I sent it to Canon. I haven't heard anything back yet, so I'm gonna try to contact them and see like what is going on. But they said they might be able to fix it, but they would let me know if they could or couldn't, and then let me know what that would cost, and I'm hoping that it's not very much. I have my coffee in my Orange County mug. It's free coffee. I love free coffee. It's from Starbucks, but it's like a Starbucks that's within a grocery store. And my husband has like befriended the people of Starbucks. So when he walked by, I guess they made, it's a caramel macchiato, but the person that asked for it wanted it made a certain way. So they had this like coffee that they just made that the person didn't want. So they gave it to my husband, and I was like, yes. It's, you know, the little things in life. So it makes it hard for me to film because the camera situation, because then I'm filming on my phone and I can't see. So like right now, like I remember in the beginning, I was like, do I look over here? Do I look right here? I couldn't tell like where I needed to look. So I can't see myself. I can't tell if I'm in focus or not. And it's just kind of weird because if you have the viewfinder, you can at least just glance to make sure that you're, you know, in the shot where you need to be. So I have a mirror behind me right now, but I can't even see, but I can at least, yeah, I can see. I can at least see the timer going that it is actually recording. So that's always good. But I can't see myself right now. And for the past like month, we've all been sick. It's been crazy. Like I had a cold that got better for like a day, and then I crashed, and then it turned into a sinus infection, and then it just kind of like lingered for a long time. And then the other thing is I was dealing with some pretty severe anxiety for a few weeks, and it was, well, it was more like, it felt like I was having a lot of anxiety, but it was also depression too. When I went to my therapist and I described like everything that I was feeling, she said that sounds more like depression, but I was having anxiety attacks on top of that. And I've mentioned before on my channel, I'm open about the fact that I struggle with anxiety and depression. I was taken a little off guard by this because after we lost the baby and I had the surgery, I was having a lot more like anxiety / panic attacks. And my doctor put me on a new medication that actually, I felt like it was working. I started, you know, you still have your sad feelings, but you don't feel crippled by them. And so I was taking the medicine and I was going to therapy. So I was making sure to still like work through my feelings. But I was able to do it because the anxiety and the depression wasn't so oppressive. And then I just crashed, like for no reason. There was no trigger there, like that I know of. There wasn't something that kind of like happened that made me feel the way that I felt, but it was really bad. I felt like, it sounds terrible because it is terrible, but when you get into a pit of depression like that, I wasn't suicidal, but I felt like I would rather die than live my life like that. And when you're in that cloud, it's really hard to see out of it, so that it's hard to see that you'll actually feel better, that it's temporary, that it's a temporary time space, you know. And so that was really hard. It was really scary. I did go to the emergency room one night because it was just really bad. And so my doctor put me on another medication, and each day like seemed to get a little bit better. So I'm feeling a little bit better. I still have like these moments of anxiety, and I'm working with my therapist to learn more ways of a day-to-day coping of anxiety or depressive feelings and whatnot. So I was not filming, obviously, during that period. Other updates to give you, as far as IVF, we don't have a set date that we're doing it. We still have to save up enough money to do it, but as of right now, we're going to do IVF. So our goal is to save up enough money to do IVF. We're thinking that it's going to be a few months. I don't know if we'll have all of the money saved. We'll see. But the other thing is I want to lose some weight. My doctor did say that every 5 to 10 pounds that I lost would increase my fertility. And oddly enough, like I actually gained some weight over the last few weeks. I don't know if it's because of the fluctuation of medications and like all the changes, but I feel really discouraged about that because I had been maintaining for a long time. I wasn't losing weight, which can be discouraging, but I wasn't gaining any weight. And to gain like it was like close to 10 pounds. That is discouraging. So I need to work on that. It's hard because with PCOS, it can be hard for you to lose weight. And I can tell that like my body is holding on to whatever fat that it can for dear life. And my dietitian said that the ideal PCOS diet is dairy-free, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free. And because I don't eat meat, and I rarely have eggs, and I really don't want to have that in my diet. And I do still have some dairy. I don't drink milk, but I do eat cheese. And so, but because I already have the restriction of like not eating meat or fish or eggs really, sure that's going to be kind of hard. And since I have a struggle with food issues already, like we're trying to just get me to eat on a consistent basis, because a lot of times I'll skip meals and that's really bad for your body already. And with PCOS, like that just makes it worse, and my body metabolizes things differently, and it's just a mess. I was diagnosed with PCOS before I had Winnie, but I didn't have the struggle with weight like I do now. And I am overweight, like clinically overweight. And so it's hard, but I really am wanting to focus on this because if we're going to move forward with IVF, I want to give my body the best odds possible so that we can succeed. You know, I've been praying about that, and I feel like there is a baby in our future. A blessing, a praise report, I guess. I feel like, you know, I love when I see God work in certain ways, where you just kind of know that there is a blessing. So with IVF, there's two major costs. One is like the procedure cost that you pay your doctor, and then you have the medication costs, and the medication costs are thousands of dollars on their own. So you have these two separate things. And so the procedure cost, it varies from doctor to doctor and from where you live. So it's not like a standard price. The doctor's office themselves on your first appointment, when you go to see the nurse, required $10,575. But that does like the whole procedure. They take your eggs and they do everything that they need to do. And you have to have that like the day that you go to your nurse's appointment. So then right after you have your nurse's appointment, and that's where they write down all the medications you're going to be taking and for how long and when, then you have to pay whatever the medications cost. So, but you have to have that big bulk that day. So I've had the paperwork in the same spot ever since I came home with it. And whenever I needed to refer to it, just like for the breakdown of costs, it was in my nightstand drawer. I haven't taken it anywhere else. It's gone. I don't know where it is. I've searched my room. I've searched the kitchen, the living room, like wherever I thought that it may be. We can't find the paperwork. My husband started looking in his office. Can't find the paperwork. Like, this is really strange. I had to go in for some blood work. And so while I was there, I asked if I could speak to one of the financial counselors so I could get a copy. So I saw a new financial counselor that I hadn't seen before. And I was like, you know, maybe this is a blessing. Like, for some reason that came into my mind. Well, it turns out that they've restructured their stuff. So, like, without going into all the details, it's cheaper now by $900. So instead of the $10,575, it would be $9,675. So that's a savings of $900. And I was just like, thank you, Jesus, for, like, you know, I mean, the paperwork is gone for whatever reason. And I think it's because it was meant to be lost. And I'm very grateful now. At first I was very upset with myself, but I'm now grateful that I lost the paperwork, because they aren't going back and like calling all of their patients that they did the consults with when their pricing hadn't changed. They were just the new patients that were coming in. They moved forward with that new pricing. But since I had lost my paperwork and went in, I get to have the new pricing. So that is really exciting. And then I think I mentioned in another video that, let's see, it's a program for medication, and 2 of the medications that I'll be on, we got approved for a 50% discount. So that's going to help us. That doesn't cover all the medications, but I mean, anything helps. So, so I'm really excited about that. So it'll still take a little while for us to save up the full amount, but that is where we're at. We will move forward, and I just really need to focus on my health, and I need to focus on like my mental health and my physical health. And I think, you know, it is stressful, and I think that's part of like the triggers, is just that like the trigger of anxiety and depression is that it is a stressful situation, and it's a heartbreaking situation to be in where you can't conceive. And in order to conceive, you have to shell out a ton of money. And even that, like, there isn't a guarantee that it'll work. The good thing is that we are good candidates for IVF. So I feel good about that. And so I just have to let that be. So, so there's that. My husband was on spring break this week, so we got to have a little bit more time together, which is really nice, because during the school year, it is so insanely busy and hectic that sometimes I feel like a single parent. I'm not, and I respect those who are, because I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. He's just so busy with school and work that it's hard. You know, I will be very grateful when he's done with school and can work like a regular hourly job or whatnot. But we got to spend time together, and that's nice. Winnie is doing soccer and ballet through her preschool. So each one is once a week. So it's not like a full, like, intensive soccer or ballet program, but it's like getting her into it, and it's really cute. She loves soccer. She loves it. I think she's going to be more like into sports. She does like ballet, but I had it in her last semester or whatever for preschool, and she when it was the performance day, she did not want to perform in front of like all those people. She got really shy, which is funny because she's usually so like in your face. And then we also decided not to send her to kindergarten next year. So her birth date, she just barely meets the cutoff to go into kindergarten. But just after talking with her teachers and then just where we feel comfortable, like where she was at last year and this year, she's right on point with her age. But I just like, she didn't do the preschool that she goes to, they have like an actual 5-day like pre-kindergarten prep, and that's what she would go into next year. And instead of skipping that and just sending her straight into kindergarten, we're going to put her in that. And that was stressful because in some ways I'm like, well, you know, I don't want her, you know, her friends to move on without her. But at the same time, like, you just kind of have to assess your own child. And I know for me, when I went to kindergarten, I was her age, and I did average in school. Like, I got good grades, but I was never in like honors classes or anything, and I struggled. Like, I got my good grades, but I had to work really hard to get the good grades. Whereas my husband and his sister, my in-laws waited a year for both of them, and they're both like better at academics than I am. Like, things seem to come a lot easier to them. And I'm not saying that that's for every child, but her teacher told me that they've never met a parent who's regretted holding their child back. So like, they think she would do fine if we went ahead and sent her to kindergarten, but that we could only be adding, you know, to her by keeping her and sending her to the pre-K class. So that's what we're going to do. That was hard. I struggled with it at first, but I was like, well, you know, I trust her teachers. You know, I really love the teacher that she's had. She's had her for the last 2 years. I trust that they know and they are able to advise me in a good, positive manner. So that is what we're doing. And it's good because I'll have like that extra year with her. She'll be going 5 days at that point, but they'll be half days. And yeah, so it's really crazy to think that I will have a kindergartner though, and that my daughter is going to be 5 this summer. Like, I'm really blown away by that. She is in the stage of really trying to test the line. She likes to try and be sneaky, and also there's the attitude factor. And so on one hand, like, she's the super sweet, loving, compassionate, and then like with us, she's really, I think, trying to test those lines, but she's great. And I'm gonna have to I want to start doing my Mommy Monday videos again, and I'll have to have her come in and have her chat at you guys. It's funny because she's so chatty, but it just depends on the day whether she'll actually, like, I'm sure for a kid it's odd to chat at a camera. But she's doing well. She's healthy. She's happy. She's very active. And she's just our little love bug. I just love her. She's so adventurous and imaginative. It's a fun age to see the brain working and changing and the things they come up with. As for my channel, like, I'm kind of in between place because I'm not so much buying makeup. I'm trying to just use up the makeup that I buy, and I'm not really, I've never been a makeup guru or anything like that. Like, I'm not a professional. I kind of stick to the basics. I don't really do tutorials. I have really been into watching like mommy type channels, and I like seeing like things on skincare and things like that, but I haven't really been into going crazy with my makeup. Although I did get the Harry Potter collection from the Brianna Cosmetics, which is by I Love Jessie 444. I got that because I love Harry Potter, and I just had to. But other than that, like, I haven't been buying makeup. I just replace like foundation, essentials, and things like that. And it's been like that for a long time. I'm trying to figure out how I want to structure things. I want to get more on a schedule and figure out what exactly I want, how I want to do it. I'm just kind of like off the cuff most of the time, and I'm like, oh, I'll film this, or oh, I film this, but then it kind of makes it unpredictable, and who knows what, when, where, why. So I'm really hoping to get my camera back soon though, so we'll see. I hope everything's okay with that. Summer plans, we don't have any, we haven't really thought about it yet, but now that it's spring, we are coming up on the conversations of California or not, and that's because my husband's job is in California, and so the last couple years we've gone back and he's worked in the office there, and we're trying to figure out if, how, when that's gonna work. So we actually weren't going to go back this year because I was pregnant, and I was due at the beginning of August. So, but now that I'm not pregnant anymore, we would have the ability to, as far as babies go. But then after that, I think that next summer we probably wouldn't, if we are blessed enough to have another baby. So anyways, let me know what is going on with you guys. I would love to hear some updates. I definitely recognize people that comment, and I wonder how you're doing, and I've so appreciated the support that you've been giving me the last few months. That you guys are seriously amazing. And yeah, I hope that you're all doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.